So what we talking about, boys?
The Western Conference. Who's coming out the West this year? The playoffs picture is set. Is it the Warriors again? Is Houston gonna give them a run for their money? What's up?
I don't know.
Yo, I deadass don't know.
Stat.
This shit is a gauntlet, bro. Like, every team, you know what I mean? Obviously, the top 4 teams. Nah, I can't even say that. I can't even say that.
You know why? Because from the 3 seed to the 8th seed, like, those was like changing every day.
Yeah, yo.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, it turned out exactly like we said it would.
I think if Golden State was to win it, it would depend on who's available. Like, if Steph is there, you know, well, not even who's available. If Steph is there, if Steph is back, you know, because once Steph get back, they gonna be the same team and they gonna flip the switch because they a championship team.
Yeah.
Houston is such a wild card because I ain't gonna lie, all 3, the coach, Chris Paul, and James Harden is choke artists in the playoffs. So it's like I can't even give it to them right there, but they won 65 games though. So
65 regular season.
I won't say
games.
Chris Paul's a choke artist because last year, the Clippers made the playoffs last year, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like Chris Paul was the one year in the playoffs where he tried to put the team on his back and he was going ham. Like he was their only offensive weapon but it was too much. Like he couldn't do it on his own.
I think he got hurt or something.
I wouldn't even say Chris Paul is necessarily a choke artist, but he just has not been able to get it done in the playoffs.
And I feel like it's the people around him more. You know, but James Harden is a bona fide choker. But with Chris Paul, he's playing unbelievable. So maybe this is the year they put it together because they're with each other, you know?
Like, I know they're gonna build each other up because, you know, they both are like great point guards. Well, James Harden's a shooting guard, but he played a point guard so well that, you know, they're gonna provide, they're gonna do something different, but I don't think it's gonna be enough because, like, at the end of the day, to win the West, you gotta be able to guard Kevin Durant and now Paul George. You gotta have that 3 position. You gotta have defense for that position.
Yeah.
And Trevor Ariza, PJ, like they got a little gang over there, but that, you know, they not, you know, we need more people, you know, because Golden State, the way they play ball, they play the game so correctly that, you know, Kevin Durant one day could be just a spotter shooter. The next day he could be an isolation player. Then after that, you know, he could just be a wild card and still get buckets. Like, you know, even the last year playoffs, like we saw, you know, they was kind of in one mode, and then once they hit the finals, they turned it up.
Like KD time.
They turned it up.
Question: how has Joe Johnson been playing with the Rockets? Has he been doing good? Have anybody been watching? Because the reason why I asked that, last year when Utah made the playoffs, I feel like Joe Johnson put the team on his back.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
So like, what if Joe Johnson just playoff time like comes alive and he's the X factor, like, you know, adding that additional firepower for the team?
If it takes Houston, if it takes them having Joe Johnson be the X factor, they are not making the finals.
Yo.
Point blank, that's worst case scenario.
I'm not trying to say like Joe Johnson is Kevin Durant, but you never know. Like, people might sleep on him and then he might be, you know, a threat.
I think the most important players is low-key Clint Capella and Eric Gordon. Like, they gotta play.
I don't trust Eric Gordon. I feel like he be too inconsistent.
Yeah.
They gotta play so awesome. Like, they gotta play out their minds for them to be Golden State. Like, Clint Capella gotta block everything.
Wait. So in our minds, or maybe in y'all minds, because I'm still thinking about it, it's Houston, Golden State in the Western Conference Finals? Because I feel like we can't, it's in the East, we just kind of jump to LeBron and who's his opponent in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Bro.
But in the West, I feel like you got to look at every series closely, starting from the first round.
Bro,
Yo.
whether it's Golden State and Houston, or Golden State and OKC, that's my team on the side. That's the finals right there. It don't matter who they play.
Honestly,
You know.
Don't be surprised if the Timberwolves push Houston to 7 games.
Nah.
No.
Jimmy Butler's coming back.
No.
Jimmy Butler's coming back too.
Bro,
Carl Anthony Towns and
Bro.
Clint Capella. That's a good matchup
You know
right
what?
there.
Because the Nuggets should have been
in the
Should have
playoffs.
eliminated them already.
Bro, Andrew Wiggins is having an identity crisis, bro. He does not know who he is, bro. Like, when I watch that team, I don't even know that he's there, but he's an important piece for them to win. Like, Jimmy Butler, I'm not sure. I don't really know what he's doing. I feel like it's just Karl Anthony Towns carrying that team and then everybody else kind of chipping in.
Jimmy Butler kind of brings that edge that team needs. And he brings that toughness for sure. I don't see it with them. I mean, the Nuggets I'm going to keep talking about us. The Nuggets just pushed them on the road into OT for that final spot. And almost pulled it out. So, I mean, they just getting Jimmy Butler back. He looked like he was back in the swing of things. They're definitely not strong enough to take out Houston, though. But it could be an interesting series. I think all of these series look like they could be good series.
Hell yeah.
I don't think Minnesota could beat Houston.
Bro, but your man Karl Anthony Bosch, man, he gonna play suspect and weird, bro. Like I can't really like, cause he's a rookie into the playoffs. Like, it's his first year in the playoffs. I can't count on him to do anything. And I feel like in the regular season, well, it will be interesting. I'm gonna say this because in the regular season, Houston relies on a lot of fouls via James Harden. So he had the line getting those points. But I can see Karl Anthony Towns like complaining a lot because it's a more aggressive game.
If they start putting him in foul trouble, that's a problem. With Harden driving, CP3, like
the way James Harden and CP, like they so experienced that they can manipulate the other factors of the game that comes with the playoffs that these that people in the Minnesota, they don't understand.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Then we got Golden State Spurs, which Spurs don't have Kawhi. That maybe he might come back this playoffs.
Bro,
Tony Parker isn't what he used to be. Ginobili's getting older. Even though Ginobili, the older he gets, the more he balls. I can't front on Ginobili.
Is it weird that I think they're gonna go 6 games though?
Bro, no, it's not, because I'm thinking, yo, Golden State is without Steph still. Steph is supposed to come back round 2. But round 1, they're without Steph, and they have not looked good. Like, yes, you could say they're going to flip the switch once they hit the playoffs, but they haven't really looked good lately. And the Spurs, I mean, you could mention how Tony Parker and Ginobili ain't what they used to be, but Aldridge been balling. Patty Mills plays a lot of minutes for them. Anderson,
Gasol's still solid.
And they got Popovich, who, if anyone could figure it out, I'm gonna put money on Popovich.
I'm gonna come clean, bro. I got San Antonio winning the first game.
That's it?
Nah, not that's it. They gonna win the first game. Golden State gonna win.
I'm gonna come clean. I'm gonna come clean, bro. Draymond Green gonna be doing a lot of kicking in the nuts this series. He going up against 2 Twin Towers. He don't got no backup down there in the paint going up against Aldridge and Gasol. Yo, I'm telling you right now, Aldridge, Gasol, y'all better be wearing 2 or 3 cups.
Bro.
Because Draymond Green gonna do a lot of nut kicking.
But San Antonio, bro, they gonna win like 1 game. The first game at least. They gonna draw blood and then everybody gonna be shook. And then Golden State gonna do something like win the next 2. Then
like saying gonna wake them up, kind of.
Then San Antonio's gonna win like 1 more. Then they'll win. They'll go 3 and 2.
Oh, so you think it's back and forth?
It's gonna be a back and forth, bro. Like don't sleep on San Antonio, bro. Like
that's probably gonna be the best first round matchup. Definitely.
I think we in for a surprise with OKC and Utah though.
Yo, Utah's been on some.
Word.
Like OKC, I got them making it to the Western Conference Finals. That's just me. But Utah, like I think they're gonna battle every series though. I think they might go 7 games with Utah, and I think the next following on they're gonna go another 7. But then when they run into either Golden State or Houston, it's I don't know. OKC, they could make it, bro. They got a roster for the playoffs. They don't got a regular season roster. People like, they supposed to be number 1, number 2, yada yada. But nah, bro. You got people that close games. You got people that play defense. You got dudes that, you know what I'm saying, that can just take over, get hot. Like you got everything. That team has everything.
Paul George, just imagine Paul George and Russell Westbrook, just them 2 alone get hot. Them 2 alone could win the series.
Don't forget
you never
about
know.
Melo
Just them
the
on the same page on fire.
Melo in the 4th quarter, bro.
I was forgetting Melo in the 4th.
Yo, chill.
I'm playing. But if there's any first round series where I see the lowest seed winning, I could see see it being Utah over OKC. I'm gonna give it to OKC though because I just think they're gonna have too much star power in the playoffs, and you know, you look at Utah and it's Rubio, it's Gobert, it's young guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the rookie of the year too, man.
Oh, Donovan Mitchell, you can't even. Yeah, of course.
Go getters, grinders.
So I mean,
He going dog in the playoffs first and foremost.
yeah. But I just don't
Spider.
think they'll be able to overcome OKC. But if you put OKC in the Western Conference Finals, that means you got them beating Houston.
I do. I do.
I don't know. OKC.
Look at their last matchup. The last matchup, you know what I'm saying? Like, they was down at least double digits, and Russ just, he willed them. Like,
Yeah.
and, you know, Paul George, it's so weird with Paul George because I feel like in his second in command, like that role, that's new to him. So I feel like we watched this whole season of growing pains. But I think, you know, come playoff time, they got it together. They know what they are, and they just know how to move. You know, this is all familiar territory to them. You know, Houston, they gonna run through a T-Wolf team that's unsure. You know, they gonna probably. I got them sweeping them, to be honest. I got them sweeping them.
You got OKC sweeping.
No. Houston sweeping Minnesota.
Oh.
So like Houston they gonna ride this hot streak, but when they run into OKC, then it's gonna be quiet.
Okay, that's interesting. I think honestly the most underrated matchup though for the West, and one of the most interesting matchups is definitely gonna be Portland and New Orleans as well, because Portland, like low key, like it's not like they like okay, Damian Lillard's a star. We know, you know, CJ McCollum's almost a star, but he's definitely a great basketball player. But they don't have that like that factor where everyone talks about them all the time, or you know what I mean? And for them to like get in the playoffs, I feel like for me personally, I'm not like a diehard everyday watching NBA type fan, but like for them to make it in the playoffs, I was like, damn, they kind of snuck in there quietly, like under my radar at least. So like I'm interested to see what happens, because I've been hearing, you know, New Orleans making noise for sure, especially since DeMarcus Cousins went down. I know Anthony Davis been putting that team on his back. They even putting him in discussion for the MVP talks. So like New Orleans, yeah, they should win this series, but like never sleep on Damian Lillard and the Trailblazers, because they're low key under the radar. But
I got Pelicans over them though. I don't really like Portland in this playoffs, to be honest. Like I like that backcourt with Dame and CJ, but I don't think it works. Like I really think it don't work.
How does it not work? Suddenly they just won 49 games. They the 3 seed. How does it not work?
Bro, but like, you know, this is just those are just numbers, you know what I'm saying? But they are the same team from last year. Like literally the same team, you know? And the Pelicans, they lost a man. They a man down and they got better.
for me, it's an upset. Like I didn't even realize they were the 3 seed. I thought it was the other way around in that matchup. Dead ass. And that just goes to prove my point. Like they went under my radar, like, and just was like, what the fuck? Like the 3 seed? I didn't still like I'm just finding out now.
What I do know is no matter who wins this series, they running into Golden State with Curry next round, so that don't matter.
It's over.
It's over.
I got Golden State.
But
I mean, the question is Houston or OKC.
That would be a better matchup, but for sure, I got OKC over Houston.
Woo.
Bro, my boy.
I think
Melo,
I gotta
man.
go Golden State and Houston.
Wait, you can't say I got
Yo.
OKC over Houston, and then the first name you mention is your boy Melo.
Yo, bro, Melo.
That's the wrong way to start the argument.
Melo has been dying for this moment, bro. I don't think he's been to the playoffs since like 2015.
What he did then?
We got cheated by the Heat or some shit like that, bro. Brown was flopping all crazy. Yo, everybody was flopping, but bro.
Can Melo get hot in the playoffs this year?
Yes.
That's the big question,
Yes.
bro. Because if Melo don't show up, it's a wrap for him. Like, he's at the end of the road officially if he don't show up with this team in the playoffs.
Bro, I don't like the disrespect.
And I love Melo.
I don't like the disrespect around Melo. Yo, this is year 15, bro. Like they saying a lot of things that the other guy doing in year 15. You see what my boy doing in year 15.
Sound like he getting old.
Bro.
Year 15 sound like he getting
old.
old.
Bro, he still got his headband on, bro. He's still a young man.
If Melo can't make it work in the playoffs with Paul George and Westbrook, all along, all these troubles he had making it to the playoffs or not being successful in the playoffs, and everyone putting blame on his team or coaching staff or GMs, that shit's all dead if he can't make it work with Paul George and fucking Westbrook in the playoffs this year. It's dead.
OKC, they just got that chip on their shoulder, because if you really think about it, you know, like you're saying, this is Melo's chance to prove that he can still play. This is Paul George.
You know, they kind of all got a chip on their shoulder.
You know what I'm
Russ
saying?
Westbrook,
Like,
Paul George, they do.
Then it's like, all right, Westbrook is just like, all right, we gotta win, because if we win, we keep Paul George. If we lose, it's over. No Paul George. Like, Melo's kind of just like, he's kind of just filling that space. But you know, Melo's doing this for self. Melo's like, all right, I gotta prove to the league I still have value. So that's why Melo's taking it. You know, that's why I think we're gonna see a hot Melo. Paul George is just like, yo, you know, my future, you know, my next 10 years, it depends on this moment right now. So
that's true.
Let's do this. Like, we all in. They all in.
Well,
we gonna see them flip the switch.
I hope so. I like all three of those players. They're all great players in my eyes. All three of them, even Paul George.
He could have won Defensive Player of the Year.
I hope you're right. I want them to put it together, and I want them and Houston to have a fucking crazy series. Hopefully they do meet each other in the next round.
Okay, so Golden State is coming out the West. No matter whether it's OKC, whether it's Houston, do you have Golden State coming out the West?
I can't bet against them.
Playoff time, everything's different. I got the Warriors.
OKC.
Coming out of the West?
OKC.
I feel like you're just saying stuff.
Bro, OKC, bro.
He just trying to make a splash on season 2. Like,
yo, bro.
OKC makes it, he gonna look like Nostradamus.
Yo, you just a fan now. You're not even speaking.
Bro, my man averaged 2 triple-doubles 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Our other mans, you know what I'm saying, getting hella buckets. They try to put him to the bench. And PG-13, man, you know what he do. OKC.